Okay, guys, we have JP Rosenbaum here. You know him from Ashley's season of The Bachelorette. JP, thank you for coming on She's All Batch.
My pleasure. Excited to do it.
I was just telling him about his winning smile. It's
Yeah.
a showstopper. It's amazing.
Good.
It's
Nice.
been a while since you've been on TV, though. So how did you end up getting on the show to begin with?
That coincidentally, my dear friend Nancy nominated me for the show.
No way.
Yeah, I think she actually nominated me to be the Bachelor way back when. And then, 6 months later, I got a call about being on the Bachelorette. So she kind of started this whole thing.
Wow.
So basically she's responsible for my kids.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And now you work with Nancy. She is your manager?
Well, officially, yes, she does all of my PR stuff.
Amazing.
But you said she nominated you for The Bachelor, meaning like to be the lead before even having been a contestant on the show?
Yeah, so this was back in 2010.
Okay.
And I don't even know what motivated her to do it. Yes, I think you can just apply whenever, whatever. And I don't know if there was
interesting.
I don't know if there was a consistent take the lead from the previous season and put him as the lead for the new season. I don't know if that was even a thing back then, but yeah, she had nominated me for The Bachelor, and then I got a call about The Bachelorette.
So did you watch the show prior?
Never. I mean, I knew about it obviously just from culture, but I never seen an episode. No.
So was the goal to? I mean, obviously you fell in love on the show, but when you came on the show to begin with, was the goal to hopefully maybe be the lead?
No.
Okay.
So I had a career. I have a career, right? I was in real estate construction, and I had come off of, I guess, a bad breakup a year or so prior, and I just needed a change. And I was in between projects, and so the timing worked out where I could actually spend a couple months and do it if I needed to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was being optimistic. It could have been only a couple of weeks, who knew? But
yeah,
it's just the timing worked out, and I figured I would have a great story to tell and come back and go back to my everyday life, and that would be it.
Yeah, not so much so because you had to now have like the world watching your every move and a little crazy.
It was quite a surprise, and certainly cold, like a shock to my everyday life and my routine.
Yeah. So did you know Ashley was the Bachelorette prior to getting cast? Like, how did they tell you?
Yeah, so no, I didn't. Prior to being selected, you go out and spend a whole weekend. And I don't know if it's still the same way today, but back then you spend a whole weekend in LA with, meeting people and taking all sorts of psych tests, blood tests, and everything. I mean, you're there for 36, 48 hours, pretty intense. And then during that weekend session, they tried to get the reveal of who was going to be on camera. So, I was on camera, and they're like, and your new Bachelorette is, and I was like, yay, I don't know who that is, Oh,
so you didn't know any of them?
No, I didn't know I didn't even know what she looked like. I knew nothing, even when they told me. So obviously when I was done, I went online, went to see who she was. And
Oh, that's funny. Most people at least know who's up in the running.
Yeah, no clue.
Yeah.
No clue.
Oh my God.
What was your first reaction after looking her up? Like, did you think that you guys would have a connection?
Who knows? I mean, she was cute, but who knows? You're just I went in with literally zero expectations. The only thing I wanted to make sure was that I didn't get sent home the first night. The rest, anything that happened after that, great. Just don't be the, can I curse on here? Don't be the,
go for it.
Don't be the dick that gets drunk. So, and just make it past the first night so I don't get made fun of when I get home.
Yeah. Oh, those people I feel so bad for them.
It was advised that I should not drink very much. And I was also one of the older guys too. I mean, I think I was the second oldest guy there. So, I'm 34 years old. All these guys are 23 to 30 and just kind of, part-time trainers and living their best lives. And I was just, I guess, maybe a little more mature, or at least I thought I was.
You were marriage material, clearly.
Who knew?
Yeah.
Or maybe not. 10 years later, depends on how you look at it. But.
I mean, you were marriage material at the time, sure. So So Bentley was like a huge villain on that season, and I've like stalked him a little bit on
Did you?
Instagram. He's gone completely MIA, but he was like a real, like a bad villain. Like he was mean. He said a lot of hurtful things. Do you know if any of that was staged or forced, or how much inside knowledge do you have on Bentley?
On him, zero. I mean,
Okay.
first of all, we didn't know at the time that was going on. Like he was just kind of one of the guys there. So we didn't know, as the weeks went by and you could see that he came up in conversation with Ashley, then you kind of got a feeling that something was happening.
Mhm.
And then afterwards, I mean, we were just all caught up in us that, he was just kind of a part of the past, part of the story. And
So is it true Ashley didn't find out what he was really saying about her though until it aired? But
yeah,
you're with Ashley when it airs. So how
yeah.
was that watching that live on TV and like what he said about her?
So yes, we were together, but we were still not allowed to be in public together.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So
But you were,
we were seeing each other every 2 weeks in private, like
Mhm.
chaperone. And I kind of stopped watching. I don't know if I saw even the last 4 episodes. Maybe I saw the finale where I proposed, but I really stopped watching because I didn't enjoy it at all. I
Yeah.
really just didn't. And I was like, you know what? It's not going to impact the outcome and where we go from here. So I'm just going to stop watching. So I know that she was watching and she used to get the clips before the shows before anybody else. And I know it would upset her that kind of they made such a huge deal out of it. I don't know if it was as big of a deal in the moment.
Okay.
But that's what they do. They have to make a villain. They have to make a hero. They have to have all these kind of subplots in between. But she was upset by it.
Yeah.
But I was there and we just talked through it, and then we were just focused on us the rest of the way.
Yeah. And I mean, that's smart to kind of take yourself away from watching the show if you're not feeling like it's helping. But I think as the lead, she's always being asked about what's going on in the show. She needs to know what's going on. And yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, I didn't have to answer any questions until
Right. Oh, yeah.
after the finale aired, and then so yeah.
Then it was all about wedding. People are asking when you're
that
getting
was
married.
all, yes, like what are you guys gonna do? Are you gonna move in together? And then how soon did you know all that stuff? And yes, there are interviews that touch on him, but like I don't even remember those interviews. I mean, I don't remember many interviews, but
Yeah.
I don't remember him being kind of a post finale topic of discussion.
And I ask though, because nowadays the villains get remembered, they get brought onto paradise, they get, the storyline gets longer. And then with Bentley, he was like such a big part of that season and just nothing.
I mean, who knows? Like I don't know what goes through everyone's mind. Like I know what I was thinking, but who knows the real reasons why people go on? Yes.
Yeah.
And today it's much different than it was 10, 11 years ago. Like instant Instagram following, like there's definitely money to be made. Who knows? And like, if you fall in love, great. If you don't, maybe you just try to make yourself last as long as you can so that it helps your platform or whatever
Right.
you're for. But that was never, I mean, even on my mind at the time. I don't even think Instagram had kind of just started to take
Yeah.
off. And my friend Nancy's like, you have to get an Instagram account. I was like, I don't need an Instagram account. Twitter is fine. She was right again.
Yeah.
But yeah, so who knows? Like,
Speaking of money to be made, you were one of the couples to have a televised wedding. How do they approach you for that? Are you comfortable talking money?
I'm not going to get into the super specifics, but I will say that there hadn't been a wedding in a little while. It wasn't immediately after the finale that they said, "Oh, let's start planning a wedding." It wasn't that quick. I would say maybe within 6 months after the finale aired, they probably approached us and said, "Hey, do you guys want to get married on TV?" And we were like, "Yeah, let's do it. We might as well, complete the story." So
Mhm.
it was.
Was that a tough decision to make? Like, or were you guys totally sure you wanted to have it on TV?
I believe it or not, I was kind of indifferent. I think
Okay.
Ashley, and I don't want to speak for her, but at the time, her biggest concern was that it wouldn't feel like a wedding. That would feel like a production. That it would feel like a show. That like nobody could take it seriously. And I shared in that a little bit. Once we got there and started the ceremony, it felt very much like a wedding.
Okay.
The cameras just fade away. Like as they did on the show. You almost don't even know that they're, I mean, aside from the fact Chris Harrison was our, efficient, I mean, it just all faded away. And then once they stopped filming, then we went to the reception, and I think maybe they filmed 30 minutes of the reception, and then we had 3 to 4 hours of no cameras and everyone just partying their, partying hard. I'll just put it that way.
Partying their butts off.
Yes, I was trying to keep it clean for you.
You don't have to, it's okay.
So yeah, it really was, it turned out to be a great wedding. Felt like a wedding.
Okay.
I think we were both pretty happy that we did it. And
That's
yes, we got
nice.
paid for it, which didn't hurt, and the wedding's free. And so
That doesn't hurt. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that definitely doesn't hurt.
Got to send the kids to college, right?
Yes. So are other television appearances paid? For example, you two were brought back to come on like after shows a lot. Like, oh, let's touch base with Ashley and JP. I always wonder, do you need to be paid for that? Not like, do you need to, but
Yeah.
Are people paid for that? Or is that you're just coming on to kind of touch base with the fans type thing?
Right. I believe they used to give us like a stipend, it wasn't any money to really be motivated to do it. Right.
Okay.
For us, it really only had to do with, because she was finishing up her residency and I was working. So it's not like we could just take off on a Monday and go. We had jobs and lives. And so we always felt that if it fit in our schedule, we would do it. The stipend, whether, $1,500 or whatever it was, I don't even remember at the time, great like that. And for us, it was more just, let's ride the wave. Let's have fun. Let's go if we can go, if it doesn't get in the way, and we'll just keep doing it. And then at some point you're old news.
Well, you're not old news still, but obviously you're on She's All About podcast. You're very much not old news.
Well, sorry, I was old news until right then.
So I just got a random memory popped in my head though. One of the times you did one of the after shows, did you do a pregnancy reveal or a gender reveal or something with one of your babies? But you had already done it.
Yes.
And no one noticed except me, I swear. And I'm like, guys, they just announced it.
You are not the only one. Other people, and I think we even told them at the time, like, guys, we kind of already did this, but they wanted us to do it anyway for those people that I guess missed it or whatever. So
what was it? The gender reveal?
I can't remember. I think it was the gender reveal. It had to be the gender reveal because I know we did a exclusive interview on the first baby reveal.
Okay.
And I'm sure we would not have been allowed to say it on TV and give the exclusive to someone. So
wait, did she do a sonogram?
In general, or
no?
Oh shit! Like,
on the show. On the show, or was that? I'm pretty sure they did a sonogram, and then they're like, "It's a boy." I think it was your son, and then
you may be right. How do I not know this?
How do I know this?
I mean, well, this is
I'm gonna after this, I'm going to piece this all together because I remember distinctly everyone on Twitter's like, "Oh my God, congratulations, Ashley and JP," and I'm like, they already told us it was a boy. Like we knew.
I think you might be right.
Okay.
I think we did do the sonogram on TV.
Well, that's really funny because that just randomly popped in my head, but that's so funny okay, they just convinced you to do the gender reveal just for TV because they wanted
we're
something.
Just like, who cares? Let's just, if that's what they want, just give them
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
We always ask everyone on the show this. Were you ever given a line or something to say by producers, or was there something that you filmed while you were on the show that aired totally differently and you're like, hey, wait, like that wasn't how that happened exactly, or something like that?
Right. Me, no. Like I never.
Or did you witness that with someone else, that you kind of saw something happening and on the show it aired differently?
So I never said or did anything I didn't want to say or do. And at the time, there were definitely producers, I'm not going to call them manipulative, but just putting ideas in your head. Hey, wouldn't it be a great idea if you did this? And I'd be like, fuck no, I'm not doing that, So I never said or did anything I didn't want to say or do. But I can understand how people are softly persuaded to act or say a certain, act a certain way or say something. And when it comes to the filming of the other guys, like I'm never there. Like, yes, in the group dates you're there and they're filming you all together, but I never see the other guys' interviews, right? I never see their one-on-one. So I can't tell you if what they said in the moment is different than how they were portrayed on TV. I really don't know. All I know is that I was me, I was genuine. I could not, I can't even pretend that. I remember there was one, I'm not even gonna say scripted they called them ITMs at the time,
Mhm.
the interview
Mhm.
at the
Yeah.
time,
Yep.
where they wanted me basically to recap, the last 2 months with Ashley. And I was like, fuck, I can't do
How
that.
much time do we have?
So if you were to ask the producer that was doing it took maybe 4 hours because I just couldn't get it. I couldn't get it. We had all these points and like to say, I'm just gonna say whatever comes to my head because I just can't act it out. I can't, it's gotta be natural for me. So a long answer to your short question. No, I never had that.
Wait,
Plus, I
you were
also wasn't a dipshit, and there was really nothing, you couldn't portray me any other way than what I was.
yeah. You're not a dipshit, no.
Thank
But
you.
you were in the interview room for 4 hours trying to give them what they wanted, and you still didn't do it.
It was outside. It was in Fiji, and Alon Gale, who was the producer at the time, he was. It must have been 37 takes. I mean, it was a joke at one
Oh my
point.
God.
Like, we're on 37. Like, I just can't do it. I can't do it. We have to come back. So we finally, I think, got it, or they pieced it together somehow.
Yeah.
But it was
Mhm.
it was a joke. So that was the only time I can remember where something was not even scripted, because there was things that I wanted to say, but just I had to follow some sort of script because I had to recap the past 2 months.
Yeah. I mean, usually it's like the past 2 months have been incredible.
Yeah, no,
Our
this was
connection's been great. Like,
right.
it's really,
It's been quite a journey. No,
Yeah.
no, this was more detailed. But I also had to go from place to place too. And like anyone that knows me knows I have a terrible short-term memory. So it was like, where was that again? Was that in
Yeah.
Thailand? I couldn't remember. So it was bad. And
they're holding up like cue cards.
No, they didn't even have them there because I think it was just the camera guy, Elon, and me trying to get it done, and it was funny.
That's really funny. Well, I'm gonna actually have to pull up the episode and try to see what they pieced together of you saying it, and I'll know that it was
They may not
37
even have
takes.
aired it. They may not even have aired it. I don't even remember
Yeah.
that. Like, who knows? But yes, me and Fiji recapping the last 2 months. If you can find it, send
I
it to
will.
me.
I will.
And actually, don't send it to me. I don't want to watch it.
I'm just gonna look into it for my own
Just
self.
feel like I
But
found it.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'll be at 37 takes. I can tell.
Right.
So we started off this interview with you saying that your friend Nancy submitted you to potentially be the Bachelor. You are now a single man, from what I believe. I'm not sure if you
Yes.
are. Were you ever asked to be the Bachelor after splitting from Ashley?
No, I was never asked to be the Bachelor. I was asked to be on Paradise.
When and why didn't you go?
So this was probably 3 months ago.
So for this season.
Oh, so for this
yeah.
season.
Oh yeah. So there's only a handful of producers that are still there from when I know. My reaction exactly. So there's only like 3 or 4 producers still there that I know. And one of them calls me up and he's like, look, I'm only doing this because I said I would do it. And I know what your answer is going to be, but, and obviously we had a good laugh about it. And I was like, absolutely not.
Wait, why though? Why?
Yeah. Yeah. I need to know why.
I'm 45 years old. I have 2 kids. Like I have a life. I have a career. Like I'm not going, it's just, no, it's a shit show to begin with. Like, no, ask the 28-year-old me. Sure, I would do it. The 45-year-old divorced father of 2 who's got a career and a life and doesn't like, no. You want to pay me $10 million? Sure, go ahead. But like, no, I mean, and obviously they don't throw around money like that for anybody. Yeah. So, and obviously I said it in jest, but it was, we kind of had a good laugh about it. And, you know.
So you're saying 45-year-old single father, that sounds like it could be a Bachelor story.
No, guys, no. I mean, no. I'm in the stage of my life where I don't say no to things. Obviously, within reason, right? I have kids and I have responsibilities, and I'm not careless with what I say yes to. But like things that I just wouldn't normally do, I now do. Like even if it's just meet people or go out or take a drive or wherever, come to LA for the weekend. I just say yes because if you don't do it, then no doors open. Right. And then just life kind of passes you by. So I'm all about not letting life pass you by.
Okay.
I can't put my brain in the hypothetical situation that they asked me or what I would say in that moment. It depends on so many things. Will I say definitively no? Of course not. But like, it depends on so many things. Like
Oh my
my
God, you would
kids
be
come
such a
first.
good bachelor though.
Well,
Ugh.
thank you. My kids come first. Like I can't have it disrupt their lives. Like, what do I do about work? Like there's so many little idiosyncrasies to it that I would have to resolve that I
Mm.
just can't wrap my brain around having to resolve them and doing it. But I won't give you a definitive no. How's that?
I love it.
All
We'll
right.
hold
Okay.
out hope for that.
All right.
And you are such a good father. You have two beautiful children with Ashley. How is co-parenting going with Ashley?
I think I'm not gonna say we've figured it out because there's always little road bumps, but we've got a pretty good routine, you know, where we're amicable and civil, and when it comes to the kids, like we seem to be able to navigate it pretty easily.
Okay.
Yeah, we're 50-50 split. It's like a two day on, 2 day off, 3 day on routine. So figure that one out. But basically you're splitting you're alternating weekends, and your
Cool.
schedule is never the same, but it's all broken up by soccer games and practices. And so the 2-2-3 never really works out. So,
Yeah.
so it's flexible.
Okay.
Yeah, but overall it's going fine. I think when you are getting divorced and like you try to think about what the next few years looks like, I think we have the best balance for our kids that we could have hoped for when we decided to do it. So.
And your relationship with her is amicable and you guys are happy friends?
Well, amicable, yes.
Okay.
We're not friends. Like we don't, you know, like we speak to each other about the kids when we need to speak to each other about the kids.
Okay. Can you tell us about life today? Are you dating?
Dating, yes. I mean, I'm dating. Like
Going
there's
on
no but.
dates?
Yes, I go on dates, and I mean, you know, so yes, I am dating, but there's no one to certainly post to Instagram about. So,
Okay.
but no, there's yeah, I'm just dating. You know, I think it took me a while to get used to it, and to be open to it, right? Like when you first start dating someone, at least for me, when I first started dating after the divorce, I don't know, like, what am I doing? Like, how does this work again? And like, am I really open to meeting someone right now? Like you have
Yeah.
all these weird thoughts, and you basically just go through the motions it's like riding a bike, and then you kind of figure it out again. And, you know, but I think, am I really open to connecting with someone that soon after we made the decisions? Like, so it took me a little while to get comfortable with it, but
Mhm.
I'm there. I mean, I'm comfortable with it, and
Good.
just hasn't been anyone, you know,
Worthy of your rose.
don't ever say that again.
Do the girls that you meet, like,
I've never
they
given one
know
out,
you
by the way.
ever? Oh, well,
How
yeah.
would I? I
Not
always got
yet.
them.
I
I
guess.
just got them all.
Not yet. Not yet.
Yeah.
Do the girls that you go on dates with, do they know you from the does anyone, like, would you not date like a Bachelor fan because you're like, this is weird?
Some do, some don't. So I've been in situations where I've been out maybe 2 or 3 times where they have no idea, and then the you know, the talk of either, not even reality TV, but even Instagram. Like, oh, like I'll tag you on Instagram. What's your Instagram? I was like, oh fuck, here we go. You know, and then you got the look on their face is priceless. Like it's funny to see someone put 2 and 2 together for the first time. And then there are those that are open about it in the beginning, where they're like, look, hey, I know who you are, and you know, they don't ask me, they don't dive into any sort of details on it. So I
Mhm.
haven't had any weird Bachelor Nation fan. You know,
That's
there's the
good.
occasional random DM that's kind of funny, but for the most part, I make sure that the girls that I go out with, I vet them to the best I can before going.
Okay.
You
Well,
know,
that's what you got to do.
and only public places.
Okay. But
But
then
yeah,
people
nothing.
can see you and take pictures.
Yeah, well, that doesn't happen. I mean, I've never had that happen recently, especially not on a date. So,
Okay.
because by the time people figure out I'm me, it's like the moment's gone, you know.
Okay.
So no, nothing crazy.
Okay.
But yeah.
Outside of dating though, like what, is there anything that fans can follow you on? Do you want to plug your Instagram or anything?
I mean, my Instagram's _JP Rosenbaum, but you will mostly see just stuff with the kids.
Okay.
you know, I try, like, I only have them half the time. So I really do try to just fill their life with moments. And, you know, there's the occasional person who says, oh, just let them do nothing. Like, well, of course they do nothing. You only see the Instagram worthy stuff. Like, you're
Who
not
says
seeing them
that?
watch
That's
TV for
crazy.
2 hours, you know?
Yeah.
But I definitely try to make the most of my time with them, because I certainly didn't sign up for raising my kids half their, you know,
Mm.
their childhood. So I just always try and find new things to do and open their minds to new experiences. And so, you know, luckily living down here in South Florida, we've got great weather all the time. I'm an hour and a half drive from so many different things, the Keys, the West Coast, you know, I mean, so yeah. And then my career is really, after my kids, is my career in real estate development. And so there's really nothing to plug. I'm just you know, doing
Just
my thing.
JP.
I'm just doing my thing.
We'll go follow JP on Instagram and see photos of his like twins, doppelgangers. It's
Right.
bizarre how much they look like you and Ashley. It's crazy. They're
Yeah,
so cute.
that's what they tell me. They're pretty delicious. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm biased.
Well, we love catching up with you on Instagram, and thank you so much for opening up in this interview. We really appreciate you coming on.
My pleasure, guys. Thanks for having me.